Okay, this is my review on. I mean, review, 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 re re review on Batman v Superman. Actually, I don't feel like doing Batman v Superman. I'm too mad to do this. Okay, I'm doing Man of Steel. So the movie opens up with Krypton in trouble and Superman. The movie opens up with Superman being born, and Krypton's in trouble. The council has denied the escape plan for. It has denied. The council has denied Jor-El of solution for Krypton, and says that they're already doomed and already dead. But and says about saving the Codex and the rest of the young species, right? Uh huh. So anyway, they deny that, but and Zod comes in and shoots the council dead, all of the council, and Jor-El decides not to join Zod. I meant to say Zod. And he takes two of Zod's members out and escapes on this flying thing and takes the skeleton, which is the Codex, and goes to his baby and his wife, and puts his baby in a ship and downloads the Codex into Superman. You know, it shows that that's supposed to be the twist in the very end of the movie, the third act. So, do you think anyone knows that? So, Zod kills Jor-El after a fight scene that they have, and stabs him, and Zod is captured by the council and they're exiled from Krypton. Superman is and Zod vows to find like her son Kal-El. Meanwhile, Superman flies through us, and cut to years later, we see Superman as an adult and working, and we see stuff. A place blow up, and Superman saves the citizens, and they all get to the chopper, and something falls, and Superman catches it, and he is now then ends up in the ocean. We see a flashback of Superman as a kid, of when his powers are starting to kick in the middle of class, and he's like 5 years old, I think. I'm guessing, and he runs away and off class, and runs into this into this door, and every kid on this side is calling him a freak and weird and stuff, made names, and the teacher decides to open the door, but Superman, he uses his heat ray. He is what is it called? Heat ray? What?
Heat ray.
What, heat vision?
Heat vision, yeah. X-ray vision.
Huh?
X-ray vision.
No,
Oh.
X-ray vision sees through
Oh,
stuff.
heat vision then.
Yes, he uses his because he uses heat vision because he knows how to control that. But his new power, his X-ray vision, was going all crazy, and his new power came in, his X-ray vision, which he could see through everyone's bodies, and it was freaking him out. You could see all the kids and the teacher's skeleton and muscle tissue and everything. It was freaking the hell out of him. And all the sounds happening, he could hear everything. It was freaking the hell out of him. So anyway, his mother comes and she tells him to concentrate on one thing. Concentrate on an island as you see it, and come towards it. So he and then we cut to him back as an adult, and he gets a different job, and this guy is an asshole, and he's rude to this waitress, and Superman tells him to leave, and he throws bear on him, and Superman he's lucky that Superman didn't punch him. So he vandalizes his car, and Superman has north, south, south. Where is he? Where's the snow? Is that the South Pole or the North Pole?
South Pole.
Is that the South Pole or is he in the North Pole?
I think it's the South Pole.
Which one's covered in snow and
I
ice?
think the South Pole is it.
You sure not the North Pole?
Look it up.
Or are they both covered in snow and ice? He heads to the South Pole or the North Pole. Sadly, he does not run into Santa Claus. But he runs into Lois Lane when she's working on when she's in the middle of supposed to be doing her job, but she does some snooping around, and she finds a spaceship, and then the spaceship,
Both of them.
huh?
Both of them are covered.
Huh?
Both of them are covered.
Both of them.
Snow. It's North and South Pole, both.
Oh, both of them are covered in snow and ice. So, it could be either one. Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
So, Superman saves Lois Lane from the spaceship trying to kill her from this AI that works for the spaceship and was going to try to kill Superman, but he identifies himself and put this little key all the way in. And Lois is very hurt and he says he can do things that no one else can do. And so he says this is going on, and it looks like a horror film when he puts the vision on her, and it looks kind of scary actually. I'm not sure if it's intentional, but it looks kind of scary because he just says like this, doing it. It's kind of funny. So he also has a talk with a program of his biological father, and says that he's from a place called Krypton and was facing extinction, and Zod turned evil, and he is the first actual birth of Krypton's first birth in ages, and last Um, am I explaining this right? So he has questions. Why did you? He has two questions. Why you sent me here, and who am I? He says that his real name is Kal-El, right? And reason why he sent him here to Earth is, and what if that is, and he says he can be more than anything that society has to offer. That's basically what he says in his own words, right? Yeah, and oh, and he also ditches Lois in the snow when she wakes up after fixing her and flies off with the spaceship. And after having that talk with Jor-El shows him the Superman suit, and he puts on and starts trying to fly, and he sucks at first, but he eventually gets the hang of it, and the Superman plays dun 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 dun, which sounds a lot like Superman. And he finally gets the hang of it, and his father told him the only way to actually know how strong he is if he keeps on pushing himself. So he does, and there's a few flashbacks of. There's also another flashback of him as a kid. Is he saves the kids from a bus, and this kid on the bus saw what Clark could do, and told his mom, and his mom's having a talk with Clark's mom, and trying to convince her that her son was just saying things and it's not true. And Clark has a talk with his father, his Earth father from Earth, and actually doesn't know what he should have done, if he should have just let them die or not. So, and he says you have to keep this side of yourself a secret, and one day what is good or bad is going to change the world forever. And he just says how he shows him the spaceship that he came in, and he asks if he can just keep on being a son, and he says, "You are my son," but somewhere out there there's other parents that love you, and I just gotta believe that they send you here for a reason. And whatever that reason is, you owe that to the rest. You know, it takes the rest of your life to find out what that reason is. And then Zod comes. Then Lois Lane goes to go do some digging, and find out where has he, what has he been up to for the past decades, and he's been hiding for the rest of his life, and she's been wondering, asking all these questions, asking people, one that Clark has been into. And the kid that a bully to him was asked, do you know Clark Kent? And he says no. Do you know what? Have you seen this man? He says no. He doesn't know. Well, yeah, he says you've seen this man. He says no. He knows it's Clark. And later we see also, when we also cut back to another flashback of, we see Clark getting bullied by a bunch of boys, and Clark just taking it, and that guy that as a kid he helped Clark get up, give Clark a hand and helping hand, and helped him up after taking a bunch of hit from a bunch of bullies. So he became Clark's friend. How are you taking this move? And so anyway, now a bunch of electricity in Metropolis and Smallville is going crazy, and on every TV it's like it keeps on saying, you are not alone, you are not alone. And it's all on TV, and this Stacky doesn't show his face, and Stacky creepy look gives it to the film, and it says, one of you among you is not your kind, is not one of your kind. He is from my planet. His name is Kal-El. And he says, if you don't bring them to me, Earth will die. And Kal-El, I give you 24 hours to. Same goes for you, Kal-El. So the TV shuts off and everything's all silent and quiet, and Superman gives him in, with the exception of speaking to Lois Lane on his term, and he surrenders to the army, and they have him handcuffed, and he's talking to Lois Lane, and before this is a little debate on, because he doesn't really think Doc can be trusted, and neither the people of Earth. But this priest decides, after talking to this priest and telling this priest who he really is, that he's the one on the television that everyone's talking about, the mystery guy. He has to the priest gives him some friendly advice to take a leap of faith, and the trust part comes later, and sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith. So that's what Superman does. He takes a leap of faith, a big leap. So anyway, the people of Earth that brought Superman out concerned says, you won't be needing those guns. You won't be needing those. And says, we are concerned. We don't know if you have contaminated anyone along the way. Well, that question is, why did he left him alone with Lois in the same room? If they were worrying about contaminating the human race with some sort of disease. You never thought of that, did you? Dad? So, Superman just breaks the cuff with no effort and says, let's just take gloves off the table. You don't control me, General, and you never will. And that's what you're afraid of. And Superman, this is what Superman is saying. And as he's all suited up, and he tells him, "But I'm not your enemy, Zod is, and I'm not here to destroy us." And they're not really entirely sure they believe Superman. And so anyway, Zod gets Superman, and she also wants Lois. And the Santa Full thing says, wait, the terms for you wanted like Superman. You wanted he wanted the alien, not one of our own. And Lois says it's okay. So she goes with Superman. He's not called Superman yet. That part comes later. And so I'm just calling Superman because it makes it more fun for me. And hey, Dad, is this your water?
No, it's yours.
Is it yours?
It's yours.
Is it yours?
No.
It's not mine.
Okay.
Is it Lydia's?
I don't know.
You said that you were going to say yes, it is yours.
That was there since this morning. I thought you got it out last night when you were up.
Dad, can you give me a glass of water so I don't break anything? I didn't mess anything up. Don't so nothing falls while I'm doing the review. Thanks, Dad. So anyway, on the ship they put well, Superman starts feeling weak and stuff, and he starts bleeding from his mouth, and he collapses on the floor because he's not used to space, the space atmosphere, right? And it makes him weak atmosphere. Is that what I'm
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. He's not used for the Kryptonian atmosphere, so there's nothing that Zod could do if he wanted to help, because the thing will have to just run its course. So Superman wakes up in this machine that Superman starts seeing these images and reveals what Zod's true plan are for Earth's extinction. And Superman starts freaking out, says, I can't be a part of this, Zod. I can't let you do this. And Superman starts getting buried in these skulls, and he says, no! And he wakes up and he's being tortured, and then Lois wakes up and Jor-El hacks into the ship and helps Lois and gives Lois guidance to get off the ship, and help Kal-El. Okay. So so after that's done, the ship all starts scanning Earth atmosphere instead of Kryptonian, so every Kryptonian is feeling weak except for Superman. He breaks free of the scene that was killed, breaks free of the table and beats beats one of Zod's men out, and he talks to his father, and he asks if what Zod said about him was it true. Did you really have the same vision of that you had for me that Zod has for me? And he says, you know, his words, no, and he had a better vision, and he believed that he could be more, and Superman just punched this opened a hole in the spaceship, and sees and his father says, look at Lois, you can save her. You can save all of them, Kal-El. So Superman just goes off flying, saving Lois, and then Zod's men and Zod come to Smallville, come to his farm, and friends his mother, ask him where the Codex is. And Superman doesn't, and the Superman comes in and pounds the shit out of Zod. And they crash into this gas station, and Superman tells everyone to head inside. It's not safe. Zod on hand doesn't give a crap about these civilians, and Superman and Zod are just ready to duke out, like pounded each other out. And Zod's men come on and starts fighting with Superman. Zod's men takes out a guy in a helicopter. Superman saves him, and they take out Superman saves him and asks if the guy's alright, and goes back to find Zod's men, while Zod got carried away from his men because Zod got his mask broken by Superman because he punched him so much. So his X-ray vision and all of his senses were going all over the place. And he says, my mom taught me to focus on what you wanted, and you're not used to, because you're not used to Earth's atmosphere, and you're getting everything it hurts, doesn't it? And he keeps on beating Zod up, and Zod's men. Oh yeah, I told them that they took him to space, blah blah blah. So Superman gets his ass handed by Zod's men quite a bit. Gets thrown into IHOP, and the kid that bullied him, that helped him out as a kid and gave him a friendly hand and give him a hand and helped him get up from after getting bullied, and he got interviewed by Lois Lane saying he didn't know that guy. He sees Clark and his Superman costume, and he recognizes him. And he's like, has this look like, holy shit, Clark's a badass. And sees the fight going on, and the fight going on that's happening in IHOP, and Superman keeps on flying, tries to find them, keeps on trying to get them out of civilians' way, but it's, considering that this is the first time, he's not doing a good job at it. Well, he's not doing a great job at it. He's doing a passable job at it. So, after getting punched by Zod's man, retreat, and the army holds their fire on Superman before they see Superman. So Superman pulls this giant safe this giant door, this giant piece of wall or door, I think it's wall out of his way, and this Iron Guy who took down took on one of the Kryptonians, and she says a good death is a honorable death